Hello everybody. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, just going to do a little bit of an update here on the little wooden chair. In that, it's been a few days since I've done anything on it. Because I was busy getting ready for a flat inspection and stuff like that. But I came up with well, as I was painting the chair originally, I kind of thought about maybe I would have been better taking the seat apart, but I decided not to. After looking the chair over a bit, I've changed my mind and I've decided to take it apart, which I have managed to do. It's all in pieces, as you can see, and I'll show you the main reason why I've decided to do it, and that is because, like for example, on this piece, painting inside the slot very difficult, but obviously I've got very clear areas that have not been painted, and it ended up getting very fiddly to actually just to move the chair around. So I decided what would be better. I mean, basically, it was a case of I tried cutting corners and ended up making it take longer. So yeah, I decided it'd be better with me having it a much easier access to all of the bits that need painting, and also I won't have the chair rocking or anything like that. So I am basically going to do that. Now what I'm probably going to have to do, because the idea as well was we put the first coat on and then use quite a rough sanding paper to sand it down, but I've got a lot of areas that I need to fill in, but then for example where this gap is, there is actually a bit of a step, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fill in the bits today with the paint, and then I will sand it down later, because I could sand down these edges, but if I'm going to have to sand it again, there's not much point. Now unfortunately, because of space, I can't do the whole chair all at the same point, so basically what I'm going to have to do is do the back and the seat, and these two support pieces here. I'm going to have to do these to basically completion before I move on to onto these pieces, which again, there's a lot of areas now that have obviously haven't been painted, which need painting, and like in there's a very, I was going to say a very rough finish, but it's not a rough finish as such. It looks like I might have cracked the wood there. Now, it should be alright because it's plywood though, it should only crack the one sheet. The seat itself isn't held together by anything. It basically just interlocks. So there's a way to take it apart and a way to put it back together. I can't remember which way I took it apart, so I can't remember which way it goes back together. But it should be self-explanatory-ish, we'll see. What I am hoping to do as well, and this is another reason why I decided to take it apart, is that when it comes to having finished the paint on it, what I don't want is the paint to just be able to be rubbed off, or if it gets wet, to come off. So I am going to finish the chair in a clear varnish. And again, there's a few reasons for that, although I'm toying with a different idea at the moment. It is a rocking chair, so it's going to rock, which means with it being painted, all of this is going to get worn and all of this paint is going to come off. Now by clear varnishing it, that should seal all of that paint and protect it. That varnish should not come off. Now it might do, but if it does, at least there will be some time before it gets down to paint. But I am also contemplating the idea of getting a foam strip to put on the bottom of these, just to give it another extra layer of protection, but also to protect whatever floor this may go on. Because if it is going to damage this and parts of this are going to come off, it's going to come off onto the floor that it's on. So we'll see how it goes. So I am going to finish it with a clear varnish, so I can pretty much try and get it all up to all painted, all ready, and then we can look at doing the clear varnish. It does mean it's going to take a little bit longer than I initially wanted it to take, but I'd rather do it right and it take a little longer than do it quickly and have it messy, because that's the route I was going down. I tried doing it quickly, it was ended up messy because it was difficult to, for example like with this, to get into certain areas and actually get the paint on it properly. Whereas now, every surface is going to be painted properly. And also, I'm still going to have to paint around the lettering and the heart, but with it having a clear varnish at the end, that can be applied straight onto the resin. But I also, with this, wanted to be able to basically position this wherever I need it to be for me to be able to paint around the lettering. Now I'm also going to try painting this with a brush, not a sponge, because the sponge worked, but obviously I've been using a lot of varnishes and stains, and the sponge has been brilliant for that. Paintbrush I don't like. This is paint, so I might as well give it a try, because it may be easier to get into a lot of these areas with the paintbrush than with a sponge or with my foam brushes. But when it comes to around the lettering, that's a very delicate sort of way of working, and there's no way I'm using a brush like this around there. I have contemplated about trying to tape it. To be honest, taping it would be the best option, but it wouldn't be easy. It'd be a pain in the arse to get it taped. But you see, I had an idea initially, which was I could do a border around this, right? Carve a border out, and then I could have taped off this whole section, but it still would have meant that I'd need to paint in this area. But then I thought, well, maybe I could not paint it, like do, I don't know, something with resin on it, but it wouldn't have worked. So I think I am going to have to just, I think, to be honest, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and tape it up. Because at least if I did that, I can leave the tape on there and I don't have to worry about being precise. I can just get on with it. Which is probably what you're thinking now. Stop fucking talking and get on with it. Now with this particular heart, which doesn't look too bad from a distance, it's still not perfect, but I'm not going to change it because I've just made something up. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. How fucking soppy is that shit? No one is perfect. But yeah, with that, I've not been too worried about the paint getting on there because this resin isn't indented, it's full. It's sort of flush with the surface. So when this gets sanded, that's going to get sanded as well. So as much as I want to try and keep the paint off there, it's not like the lettering, which is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, clear indentations. So yeah, it's, the resin doesn't come all the way up to the top, which is exactly how I wanted it for these, because let's see if I can show you what it does with the light. Okay, you see there where you got the light reflection, it creates different angles of light reflection because of the resin being slightly curved like that. within the lettering, so it creates a more dynamic colour effect. But anyway, right, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to start painting this one.